Hello and welcome to another rendition of Math is Easy Step by Step. This is part 2 for solving two-step equations. And I wanted to point out again, solving for the variable x, y, and z, we're going to use two of these steps. It's only going to take two steps, and we're going to take the inverse of two of these in order to solve and get that variable x all by itself. I wanted to point that out. And so let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look here. So again, solving two-step equations. We want to use what's called inverse or opposite operations. Again, there'll be two of those in order to get the variable x, y, z all by itself. In order to solve for the variable, you want to follow the reverse of PEMDAS, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So the first step is to do an add or subtract. Typically, not always. Then you do the opposite of multiply and divide. And then you'd have the variable all by itself. Let's take a look at this particular order that you would work. Again, subtracting and adding first, doing the inverse, dividing or multiplying second, doing the inverse or the opposite, and then you have exponents and then parentheses. So let's take a look at our problem here. Remember, every fraction is a division problem. So here we got x divided by 2 plus 3 equals 5. My goal is to get x all alone on one side of the equal sign, which means I have to take two steps. I'm going to have to uh, turn this positive 3 into a 0 by doing the opposite of adding, which would be subtracting 3 to both sides. Then I need to eliminate 2 in the denominator's place. What's the opposite of division? It's multiplication. So I'll multiply 2 for my second step to both sides of the equal sign. There I will have my variable x all by itself on one side of the equal sign. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look. So again, what's the opposite of adding 3? Because first I want to do the opposite of subtracting or adding. What's the opposite of a positive 3? Hey, I'm going to subtract 3 to both sides of my equal sign. I have $3. I just spent $3 for popcorn. I don't know where you can do that, but that's my example. 3 minus 3 leaves me with 0. And then I'll just bring my x divided by 2 down. I'll bring down the equal sign, and then 5 minus 3 is 2. So I'm just going to simplify and rewrite my equation. So now I'm left with x divided by 2 equals 2. I want to get x all by itself. That's my goal. I want to eliminate that 2. So x is all by itself. What's the opposite of dividing by 2? It's multiply by 2. But not just to one side of the equal sign. I want to do it to both sides of the equal sign. So I'll multiply both terms times 2. And that's what I'm showing you here. Oops, excuse me. Let me bring that down a little bit right there. Okay. And so again, I like to show my invisible. There's an invisible one in front of that X. And so I like to show that. And so there's also an invisible one in the denominators. I like to show that. Of course, the dot, dot, dot is only for instructional purposes. You can put a 1 there, and you can put a 1 here. 2 times 1 is 2x. I'm showing you that here. 1 times 2 is 2 in the denominator's place. And again, I multiplied 2 on the left side because it's the opposite of dividing. What I do to the left side of the equal sign, I have to do to the right side of the equal sign. And 2 times 2 is 4. Remember, anything over itself is that invisible 1, right? 2 over 2 is 1. It's an invisible 1x. And for this particular problem, x equals 4. X equals 4. Hey, I want to check my answers before I move on. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's check our answers. And I'm going to do that on the next page here. I'm going to check my answer. So if x equals 4, everywhere you see x in the original problem, you can substitute 4. Then I'm just going to simplify using the order of operations. Because I'm no longer solving for x, I'm just simplifying. I'm going to use the order of operations where you would work on parentheses first, then exponents, then multiply, then adds. Multiply, divide, then add and subtract. So that's what you're doing when you're checking your answers. You're using the order of operations. That was a mouthful. Okay, so I'm going to substitute the 4. I believe x equals 4. So if x equals 4, everywhere you see x, you can place a 4. So 4 divided by 2 plus 3 equals 5. I'm just substituting the value of x, 4, everywhere I see x. Now I'm going to simplify following the order of operations. There's nothing I can do in parentheses. There's nothing I can do exponents. There's no exponents here. Can I multiply or divide? I can. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And I'm going to show that here. I'm just going to rewrite everything else. Again, following PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This is the order of operations. I don't have any parentheses, no exponents. I cannot multiply, but I can divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then after that, I can add or subtract in order to simplify the terms. And so you see 4 divided by 2 is 2. I'm going to rewrite everything else, the plus 3 that equals 5. Now I'm going to simplify further. I can add, which is the last step in the order of operations. 2 plus 3 is 5. Does 5 equal 5? Is that a true statement? Then yes, absolutely, x has got to equal 4. X has got to equal 4. So, take it step by step. Math is easy. If you are struggling with order of operations, you can watch a video I created. It has PEMDAS, it has order of operations, and it has a number of examples that might help you in understanding. Go ahead and check out those videos. Thanks for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step.